All right, let's get underway.
Excommunication. Yeah.
Not excommunication, no way. Okay, I think Erwin will join us shortly, but we're going to get underway. All right, we are on Sadi Hey Amud Aleph, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down. Tanya, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Okay, we're continuing to deal with various behaviors, okay, that if done on Shabbat, okay, are culpable. So Rabbi Shimon teaches as follows: Omer Godelet. We said that was woman who braids her hair. Kochelet was one who puts on like a blue eyeshadow. Okay. Pokeset, one who puts on rouge. La'atzma petura, for herself, says Rabbi Shimon, she is not culpable. The chaverta chayevet, but if she does so for her neighbor, for another woman, she would be culpable. V'chein haya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar omer, and likewise Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar would also say, Mishum Rabbi Eliezer, in the name of Rabbi Eliezer, Isha lo ta'avir serek al paneha, a woman should not apply any kind of, one translation is paint, okay? Another might be, again, a kind of red makeup, okay? On her face, because it's like she's dying, okay? Putting D-Y-E on her face. All right, Tanu Rabbanan, a new Braita, okay, goes to a new subject. Hacholev, one who milks a cow. Vahamechabetz, and one who puts that milk aside to curdle, okay? Vamegavein, and then one who sort of works that curdled milk into cheese. Kigrogeret, and if it's enough to make a fig bulk. Vahamechabed, and one who sweeps their dirt floor. Vahamirabetz, and one who sprinkles water to keep the dirt down. Okay. Vaharodech halot devash, or one who removes, let's say, honeycombs from the beehive. All right. Shagag b'Shabbat, if one does so on by accident on Shabbat, chayav chatat, is culpable to bring a chatas offering. A zid, if they did it on purpose, b'yom tov, on the holiday, lokeh arba'im divrei Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, gets malchus, 39 lashes, according to Rabbi Eliezer. The Chachamim omrim, but the sages say, echad zeh ve'echad zeh, regardless if it's Shabbat or Yom Tov, eino ela mishum shvut. It is prohibited as a rabbinical prohibition, but not a Torah prohibition. Okay? And therefore, okay, one does not get malchus, nor, by the way, do they have to bring for shogeg chatas. Okay, let's go on. Rav Nachman Bar Guria, Ikla Naharda'a. Rav Nachman Bar Guria happened to come and to visit Nahardea. Ba'u minei, and they asked him, Cholev, mishum mai mechayev, milking a cow, on what basis is one culpable? In other words, they want to find out which of the 39 malachas, okay, it falls under, right? Amar laho mishum cholev, he said to them, because of milking. Mechabetz, okay, we said that refers to putting the milk aside for curdling. Okay, mishum mai mechayev, on what basis is one culpable? Amar laho mishum mechabetz, he responded to them, because of curdling. Megaven, making cheese. Mishum mai chayev, on what basis is it going to be culpable? Amar laho mishum megaben. He said to them, because it's cheese making. Amrule, they said to him, Rabcha katil kane ba'agma hava. Okay, that your teacher, it must have been like he was cutting reeds in the swamp. Now, that the statement is a pejorative statement. In other words, because reed cutters were the lowest paid kind of profession, it requires people of little intelligence. Okay, so the implication is, if that's the way your teacher taught you to explain it, okay, either he's lacking or you're lacking. Okay, so what happens? Ata Sha'il Bar Midrasha. He went and came and asked in the base midrash. Amru, they said to him, right? Cheolev, milking, chayav mishum mefarek. He is culpable because he's extracting. In other words, he's removing something from its container, the milk from the inside the cow. Mechabetz, okay, curdling the milk. Chayav mishum borer, okay, separating, right? Megaben, okay, putting the, making the cheese. Chayav mishum boneh, he is obligated because of building. Hamechabed, one sweeping. Hamarbetz, okay, one sprinkling. The harodeh, chalot dvash, and one removing the honeycombs. Shagag b'Shabbat, if he did it inadvertently on Shabbat, chayav chatat, okay, he is obligated, culpable to bring a chatas offering. Hezid b'Yom Tov, if he did it willingly, purposely on Yom Tov, lo ke'arba'im, he should get 40 lashes. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer, this is the view of Rabbi Eliezer. Amar Rabbi Elazar, this is Rabbi Elazar, who's the Amora. Mai Tama the Rabbi Eliezer. What's the reasoning of Rabbi Eliezer, the Tana? Dichtiv, because it's written in the pasuk, Vayitbol ota ba'arot dvash, because there's a pasuk that basically says, right, and he dipped it in the forest of honey. Now, says the Gemara, V'chima inyan yar etzel dvash, what's the association between a forest and honey? Elo marlach, but rather to tell you, Mayar hatolesh mimenu b'Shabbat chayav. The same way, if one is in the forest and one plucks something, right, detaches on Shabbat, he is obligated to bring a chatas offering. All right, excuse me. Afchalot devash. So likewise, the honeycombs, harodeh mimenu b'Shabbat, one who removes them from the comb itself, right? Chayav chatat, also is culpable on Shabbat and must bring a chatas for shogeg. Now, Amemar shara zilcha b'mechoza. Amemar, says the Gemara, did permit the sprinkling of floors in the city of Mechoza. Amar ta'amamai, so the Gemara asks, what was his reasoning? Amor Rabbanan, dilma ate la'ashavoye gumot, that the rabbis gave their explanation. Why does one not sprinkle dirt on the ground? Because it might cause mud, which would therefore fill in any holes in the ground, in the dirt floor. Hacha leka gumot. But here he's saying in Mechoza, where most of the floors were stone floors and not earth floors. There are no holes. Rabba tosafa'a ashkachei l'Ravina deka mitzta'er mechavla. We now see another story. Rava, who was a authority on the Tosefta, okay, happened to find Ravina at home when he was suffering from the heat. Va'amrela mar kashisha, Rabbi the Rava, ashkachei Rav Ashi, become mitzta'er mechavla. And others say it was Mar Kashisha, okay, the son of Rav, who happened to find Rav Ashi, who was suffering at home from the heat. Amarle, and he said to him, Savar lamar lahaditanya, isn't the master of the same opinion based on that which was taught? Harotzeh leravetz et beito b'Shabbat, one who wants to sprinkle the floor on his house on Shabbat, Mevi areva mele'am mayim, brings let's say a wash basin full of water. V'rochetz panav b'zavitzo, and he washes his face in one corner. Yadav b'zavitzo, and his hands in another corner. Raglav b'zavitzo, and his feet in another corner. V'nimtza habayit mitrabetz me'alav, and it turns out then that the house is sprinkled, so to speak, by itself. Amarle lav adatai. He responded, I didn't consider it. Okay? Tana. We have a new statement, says the Braita. Isha chachama, a smart woman, merabetz et beita b'Shabbat, sprinkles her house on Shabbat, the floor. Vaha'idna, and today, in other words, in our time, desvira lan Rabbi Shimon, that we hold like Rabbi Shimon, okay? And Rabbi Shimon says, remember that if it is work done not for a specific purpose, okay, for that specific sake, okay, it is permissible. It's not over. Share afilu lechatchila. We therefore say that it is permitted even at the very outset. Right? As we said that Rabbi Shimon held unintentional acts are permitted, right? Okay. Let's go now to our new Mishnah, okay? All right. Our new Mishnah follows really on the previous discussion. Matnitin, says the Mishnah. Hatolesh me'atzitz nakuv. Okay? One who, let's call it, severs or cuts a leaf or a flower that is in a flower pot with holes, chayav, is culpable. V'she'eino nakav, and if the flower pot is not doesn't have holes, okay, is not perforated, okay, patur is exempt. The Rabbi Shimon poter bazeh ubazeh, and Rabbi Shimon, okay, says the person is not culpable in either case, whether the pot is perforated or unperforated. Okay? Gemara. Rami le Abaye l'Rava. And Abaye comes and he points out a contradiction to Rava. Va'amre la, and others say, Rabbi Chia bar Rav l'Rav, that it was Rabbi Chia, the son of Rav, who pointed it out to Rav. Tnan, Rabbi Shimon poter bazeh ubazeh. Okay, our Braita teaches that Rabbi Shimon, or our Mishnah really teaches, that Rabbi Shimon exempts in this case and in this case. In other words, whether the pot is perforated or not. Alma. Therefore, this would seem to imply nakuv the Rabbi Shimon kishe'eno nakuv mashvele, that a perforated pot for Rabbi Shimon is no different, okay, can be compared to a non-perforated pot. Or minhu, but I have a contradiction, he says, namely with Rabbi Shimon saying the following: Ein bein nakuv l'she'eno nakuv, that there is no difference between a perforated pot and a non-perforated pot. Let's roll over. Ella lahachshir zra'im bilvad, okay, except to render seeds susceptible to tumah. Okay? Amarle. So he responds to him as follows: L'chol mile Rabbi Shimon, excuse me, L'chol mile Rabbi Shimon ketalush mashvele. Okay, Rabbi Shimon teaches anything that's detached in this same manner. V'shani le'inyan tuma, but there's a difference in regards to tuma. Excuse me. The HaTorah rifta tahara eitzel zra'im, because the Torah, let's say, increased or enlarged, expanded the scope of tuma with regards to seeds. On what basis? Shana Amar, he says, because of the pasuk, Al kol zera zarua asher yizra. Okay, the pasuk, and if anything of that carcass falls upon a sowing seed, which is to be sown, it is clean. Okay, in other words, since the word zera, zarua, yizra is used multiple times, he explains it, meaning that for purposes of tuma, there is greater concern, greater extension application. Okay, let's go on now with a new section from our Gemara that still deals with this approach of Rabbi Shimon. Ba'mine hahu saba mi Rabbi Zera. Okay, a certain elder asked a question or raised a difficulty with regards to Rabbi Zera, right? Shoresh keneged nekev. If the root of the plant or the flower is opposite one of the holes in the perforated plant, Mali Amar Rabbi Shimon. What is then Rabbi Shimon's approach? What is it? How does he understand it? Okay. In other words, is that root considered detached because it's in a separate, perforated pot? Or do we say that because it's perforated, that root could theoretically go through the pot and were to be put on the ground, be attached to the ground, and therefore be like that situation? Ishtik v'lo amarle v'lo midei. The Rabbi Zera was silent and didn't respond. Zimna chada ishkached.
Sorry, I have to interrupt.
Hold on a second.
They're going to take the books down. Do you want me to take pictures first? Do you know where they are?
I know where they are. Zimna chada ishkached yativ. Right. One time he saw Rabbi Zera sitting, right, and found him, right, sitting, and he was saying, "Umode Rabbi Shimon she'im nekev bichdei taharato." Okay, that Rabbi Shimon acknowledges that if there was a perforated pot, Okay, and in regards to that pot, we see that, okay, depending on the question of the size of the holes in that perforated pot, okay, is it such that it would allow a tumor to enter, okay, and therefore consider it to hold certain items, and therefore, if that's the case, it would no longer be a viable utensil, and thus not be capable of becoming tameh on Shabbat. Amarle, he said to him, Hashta shoresh nekev by minech. So the elder said to him, here, he said, I asked you about the roots opposite a hole. That's what I questioned. Velo amart li velo mide. And you didn't give me any answer. Nekev b'kdei taharato mibaye. Okay. I should have asked then about the size of the hole in terms of allowing defilement. Is that what is the problem? Amar Abaye, says Abaye, V'i itmar la, the Rabbi Zera, hachihu de itmar. If it was such that Rabbi Zera said anything to him, then this is what Rabbi Zera must have stated. Umode Rabbi Shimon, she'im nikev lamata meravi'it, that Rabbi Shimon must acknowledge that if the size of the hole of the flower pot was lower than a revi'is, in other words, lower than the amount that could hold a quarter of a log, okay, then it would no longer be considered a vessel and subject to tumah. Amarava chamesh midot b'kli cheres. Citing this example, says the Gemara, Rava is going to give us measurements in terms of a earthenware pot that had holes in it. Okay, right? Now, again, we said depending on the size of the pot, of the holes, would it render this earthenware planter, this earthenware pot, no longer a valid vessel to be subject to tumah? Okay, so he says, Rava, chamesh midot b'kli cheres. There are 5, let's call it, principles, measures regarding a earthenware vessel. Following. First one, nekev kimotzi mashke, that the hole is small, only enough to allow liquid to flow out of it. Tahor milatame gistara. Okay, that kind of utensil, it's still a utensil, it would be tahor. Okay, however, okay, in this case, okay, because it is still milatame yistra, because we say that it is a mutilated, a destroyed vessel. Okay, va'adayin klihu l'kadesh bo mechatat. But the Gemara challenges that and says, but wait, that small a hole still allows it to be a vessel to be used in order to maintain, to hold the water for the sprinkling of mechatat, of the purification water. So argues that maybe it's still a valid vessel subject to tumah. Second case, nikev kikones mashke. If the size of the hole in the earthenware vessel is large enough for water to come in through the hole, tahor, the vessel should be considered no longer usable and therefore tahor. Gemara says again, milakadesh bo mechatat. But maybe there too again, it's large, even though it has a larger hole, okay, it's still a vessel large and usable enough for sprinkling mechatat, and therefore should be subject to tumah. Va'adayin klihu, says the Gemara, and it's still considered a vessel. Lahachshir bozraim. Why? Because therefore, if you put seeds in it, it might render the seeds susceptible to tumah. Third example, nekev kishorish katan. Okay, that the size of the hole in the earthenware vessel is equal to the size of a small root of a plant or of a flower. Tahor, it should therefore be considered pure. Mara answers, milahachshir bozraim. It's still, if there are seeds in there, in that earthenware vessel, it still might render them susceptible to tumah. Va'adayin klihu, and therefore it's still a vessel, hu lekabel bo zeitim, viable enough to be used to store seeds in it. Okay, next example, nekev kimotzi zeitim. Let's say that the hole in the earthenware pot is large enough to allow seeds to fall through it. Okay, tahor, then it should be tahor. Gemara questions again. Milakabel bo zeitim, if it's able to receive, in other words, to hold seeds, va'adayin klihu, the kabel bo rimonim. But maybe then it's still a vessel because the hole is only going to let seeds fall through, but the hole will be such that we could use the vessel, let's say, to hold rimonim, to hold pomegranates. Okay, next example. Sorry. Nekev kimotzi rimonim. Let's say the hole in the earthenware vessel is large enough for pomegranates to fall through it. Tahor, then the vessel should be pure, right? Mikulam, for anything. But the Gemara then says, ve'im hukaf samid patil ad sheyiftach rubo. Okay, what about then if it has a closed tight? Okay, in other words, if it has an airtight lid, in that case, okay, right, that would be allowing it then to say that it still should be tahor. Amar Rav Asi, excuse me, says Rav Asi, Shamati kli cheres shi'uro kimotze rimon. Says Rav Asi, I learned that a earthenware vessel, where if the hole was such that it would allow pomegranates to fall through it, okay, amarle, implying that it would still be subject to tumah as of a good vessel. Amarle Rava, says Rava, Shema lo shamat ela b'mukaf tzamid patil. No, maybe you heard that only because it was a vessel that had an airtight lid, and therefore by putting the lid on it, I could turn the vessel upside down, and therefore the items would not fall out. Rabba hu da'amar, but it was Rava himself who said, Mukaf tzamid ptil ad sheyivchat rubo lo kasha, that Rava himself who said a earthenware vessel with a tight-fitting lid can still be considered a utensil, a vessel, okay, unless the greater portion of it, okay, is open, is broken. That, okay, otherwise there's no difficulty. Let's go over just a little bit, okay, to Tzadi Vav, all right? So the Gemara then tells us, Barav Ravi, there we're talking about large earthenware vessels, Vaha Bezutre, here we're talking about smaller vessels. Okay? And that's where we're going to stop today. All right, I know because tomorrow, well, let's go, if we got time, we'll go just a little bit further because Amud Beis and Sadi Vav is very long. All right, so Amar Rav Asi, says Rav Asi, Shonin Klei Cheres. Okay, that we learned, okay, he said, all right, regarding earthenware vessels, Shi'uro, that its standard, its measurement, when it becomes impure, if the hole is large enough, right? Bekones mashke. We said that if it was enough to allow liquid to flow into it. Velo amru motzi mashke. But we didn't say that the liquid had to flow out of it. Ela le'inyan gistera belvad. Except if the earthenware shard, if it was like a shard, mutilated, it was broken, okay? Just as simply, if the shard has a hole, okay, we could argue, what benefit is it to claim that it's still usable as a utensil? Ma'itama. Amar Mazutra, Berei the Rav Nachman, Lafi she'ein umrim haba gistera, the gistera. Why, he says? Because we don't say, let's bring one fragment, one shard, and use it to plug up the hole in another shard. People don't do that. Okay. Amar Ula, says Ula, Plige ba trei mara'ai b'ma'arava. Ula tells us that there was a machloket in Palestine, and right, in Eretz Yisrael, okay, that who differed on this issue, right? Rabbi Yossi b'Rabbi Avin, one was Rabbi Yossi b'Rabbi Avin, Rabbi Yossi b'Rav Zavda, and the other was Rabbi Yossi bar Zavda. Chad Amar kimotzi rimon, one said that the earthenware vessel had to have a hole large enough for pomegranates to fall out. Chad Amar kishorish katan. And the other said if the hole was large enough to have a small root pass through it. Okay? V'simenach, and the way, mnemonic device to remember who said what, echad hamarbeh ve'echad hamam'it. One says or increases, the other says one diminishes. Okay? Amar Rav Chinena, says Rav China bar Kahana Mishmei de Rabbi Eliezer, from the name of Rabbi Eliezer. Kli Cheres, Shiuro Kimotzi Zeitin. He claims that for an earthenware pot to no longer, perforated pot, no longer to be considered a valid utensil subject to tuma again, shi'uro kimotzi zeitin, that the hole, if it's large enough for olives to fall through, umar kashisha, berei de Rava, mesayem ba, okay, and Rav Kashisha, the son of Rabbah, added and completed his statement in the name of Rabbi Eliezer. V'harei hein kikli galilim. Why? Because he said such earthenware pots then are no different than utensils made out of dung, uklei avanim, or utensils made out of stone, uklei adama, or utensils made out of earth, she'ein mekablin tuma, because they do not, are not susceptible to tuma, lo midivrei Torah, velo midivrei sofrim, neither by Torah law nor by rabbinic law, but ula'inyan samid patil ad sheyivchat rubo. Okay, so long as we say that it has a tight-fitting lid on it, unless the greater portion, the majority of the utensil is totally broken. And we will stop there. Hadrana lach hamatzniya. Okay, and we'll pick up tomorrow the new parak and the new Mishnah on Sadi Vav Amud Aleph. Okay, guys?
Thank
Because
you.
as I said, the next page is pretty long.
Carl, thank you very much. Have a great day. Be well.
Take care, everybody. Stay well.
Thank you.
Okay. And may all your flower pots be perforated.
Well,
Ed, I'll give you a call very shortly.
Okay,
Just say I'll give you a call.
gotcha.